Okay, bear with me because I don't have a lot of time. I'm leaving for a trip tomorrow, but I'm not taking this bag with me. So I'll tell you what I have liked about it as I've traveled with it over the years, and what I don't like about it, and why I'm replacing it with something different. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, I know the lighting's not great, but I'll kind of show you how it looks on the body. And this bag is almost all the way packed out. It can fit some more items in there. I've fully packed it out to the seams. And I've been traveling with it for a couple years. I don't totally hate it, but I also don't necessarily love it. So we'll talk about the layout and how I've used it, and maybe about why I want to replace it. But let's take a look now at the interior layout. So I bought this backpack because I wanted something that could open up sort of like a suitcase does. You can open this lid here and see all the contents on the inside. And the inside is pretty simple. There are these wings here that you can use as kind of compression straps. I just have a packing cube in there, for example. So you can tighten some things down. And there's also space in here for like a hydration bladder or something. Aside from that, there's a pocket on the outside. It's a long, kind of a narrow pocket here. And then there are some pockets on the top. Two of them. And actually, this one's pretty spacious. So I use this one here quite a bit. And then there are two hip belt pockets right here. They are very small, but I put like an air tag in there for tracking purposes. They could be useful for small items. And then there are some mesh pockets on the outside. They're not zippered, so whatever you put in there could fall out. I did lose a shoe that way. So I will say, as far as backpack features, the hip belt here is pretty substantial, so it will help you carry a lot of heavy weight. And there's a mesh back panel here, which helps for breathability in hot weather. But aside from that, it's not really that comfortable of a backpack. So I use it to haul luggage around, mostly in airports. I've taken it trekking one time, and I was just not really impressed with how well it worked for me. I'll also mention that these harness straps up here, they are adjustable along this line here, but I've tried making different adjustments to it, and it's just not that comfortable for me. The other thing to mention, I don't know if you can hear it, but every time it moves, there's this really terrible squeaking sound. Now, I will say that I've really put this bag through the ringer. I've abused it quite a bit with all the traveling I've done, and it's still holding up pretty well. So it's not comfortable, but it is durable. And one thing I do love is that it came with this, well, they call it an airframe, I think. It's basically a bag that goes over to protect it when it's being transported on an airplane, but it's also rainproof, so it's kind of like a rain fly and bag protector when it's going in the stowed luggage of your airplane. So this is extremely durable as well. So in summary, I've done a lot with this backpack. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. I would say that if you're going to do a lot of backpacking and trekking, then get a dedicated backpacking backpack. Or if you're going to do like I do, where I'm mostly just carrying this through the airports and throwing it in the back of a taxi, get a rolling luggage or something. So this is a weird hybrid that I don't think is really that useful. So I don't recommend buying it. Now quickly, we'll talk about something I might try to replace it with. But again, I don't have a lot of time, so let's just jump right into that. All right, so now I want to talk briefly about this 65-liter bag. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time with it because I'm going to return it. It's just not going to work for my needs. So let's discuss why. So naturally, like any Osprey product, I think it's designed really well, or at least good quality materials. So on the front here, you do have two stuff pockets, like mesh pockets, one on both sides here. And then there's another pocket right here that goes in about to here. Good for, I think, thinner items. And of course, the main pocket, which also has some compression wings, I might call them. And then there's also mesh pockets on the inside as well. So, and see, I'm still not too familiar with this bag. There's one more pocket here that's kind of on the top that could go into the top of the pouch here, depending on how much you stuff into it. So you've got one pocket here, the main pocket, mesh interiors, and then pocket on what you might call the outside, and two mesh stowaway pockets here. So organization is good. And then there's the main reason why I bought this bag is because it does have the rollers. So it's got the wheels and it has the handle that comes out. So it could be nice rolling luggage, and then it also converts into a backpack, which was kind of my secondary selling point, because although I don't really want to be a backpacker anymore, I like the option of being able to do that when it's necessary. So it does have the whole harness system here, which I haven't tested with weight, probably comfortable enough, but since I'm not keeping the bag, I didn't do a lot of thorough testing with that. The big flaw with this bag is that because there's the handle that comes out right here, there's a big ridge right here. There's an elevated spot in the bag, so it's not flat. This big ridge or spine down the bag makes it very hard to pack. You can put things at an angle here, at an angle there, and I think it reduces the overall capacity. I can't really prove that, but the bag just feels a lot smaller than it's marketed as. Okay, so to summarize it all up, the 75-liter bag I've been traveling with, it just wasn't very comfortable, and I don't need a dedicated backpack, so I want something with wheels. So the 65-liter bag, I actually really liked it, but it was just too small. Considering going from 75 liters to 65, the change was crazy. I couldn't even fit half of my stuff in the 65-liter bag. So I got to keep looking at other options, and what I found is very different. I don't know if it's going to work for me. It's this Deuter bag, which happens to have some backpack straps that come out of it. So we'll see how it works. That'll be in the next video, but let me do some testing with it, and then I'll post that probably in a couple months when I know how it works for me. So see you next time.